If you bring a community of selfless people who are actually doing something good for the society and they have no hidden agenda, no hidden interest, that's the most difficult part of it. And what you guys have achieved together is really remarkable.
DPG Dialogues is the annual convening of three kinds of people from the community. Contributors, both students as well as working professionals who contribute code, typically open source for products. Second is mentors. These are people who have been in the ecosystem for a while and therefore they handhold and guide the contributors. And third is organizations, both government as well as private, which are trying to either build or adopt DPGs, DPIs and tech for good products.
It takes a lot of efforts to build an organization. To build a community requires more effort because community is a very, very open, fluid kind of situation.
But how did it all start? So it all started in 2022 with an experiment called the Dedicated Mentoring Program, and that experiment became our flagship initiative over the last 3 to 4 years.
Open source gave me skills, but C4GT community gave me direction and confidence.
I was able to generate 92,000 lines of code and 2,500 plus test cases on the floor.
I felt that this is where essentially the wishbone of Indian open source meets the backbone of Indian open source. So it's like you are intersecting both the things together and you're actually solving something meaningful.
We have attempted many DPGs in the past, building open source, trying to build a community, showing value, taking them to scale, etc. Some worked and some failed very badly. But you keep trying because once you derive value, there is a great potential to scale, and that scale could demonstrate impact. At the end of the day, impact is what really matters.
And the DPG Dialogue specifically, it's truly an amazing initiative given that we know we're talking about multiple global organizations like the DPG that are participating and getting this out, but having something very specific to India and the mentors participating in India specific building exercises is really great.
If you are building a DPG without any government agents, you are bound to fail.
UPI is a massive success today mainly because of the private sector partnerships. They have started building use cases, started deriving value from UPI.
You need a healthy mix of private as well as non-profit for any DPG to kind of do very well.
Great to see these two stakeholders coming together and interacting with each other, learning from each other and sharing new ideas.
As far as India is concerned, the role of technology in governance is huge. With things like Aadhaar and UPI, we have just scratched the surface.
Technology offers a more cost-effective way. Digital public infrastructure kind of architecture is the best architecture for our country. We don't build end-to-end solutions, but we do build commonly reusable components which can actually create these solutions.
We started from day one thinking of anything we built as something that could be reused.
Interesting year, another big year in India's chapter of DPIs, and we are seeing some of the new DPI models emerge and grow, like open networks for digital commerce, so the work we are doing with India Energy Stack with open networks and protocols. I think India has come a long way.
DPI to the power of AI. That is the exponential application that is possible with the AI enhancing what DPIs can already do.
It wasn't one big breakthrough idea that sort of led to the adoption of Storyweaver, but a series of great design choices that rested around open.
Cut to 2025, proprietary software is the exception and open source is the norm. There are three levels of open source. One is where you consume open source, the other is where you contribute back to the community, and the third is where you start creating your own open source products.
The degrees of freedom that you get in terms of, I always say that degrees of freedom that you get with open source, it's not just about code, it's not just about community. It's about cognitive freedom.
This open source ecosystem is just a lot of collaboration, it's just a lot of good intent.
Today, Bamni is adopted Cut to 25. It's adopted in about 50 countries, 500 plus sites, and I'm very happy and proud to say that there was no marketing involved. It was zero marketing, it was all adoption because people saw value in whatever was done.
All of these adoptions require many factors, including, at least on the government side, it definitely requires, what is the value and the use case to the ecosystem. So very strong definition of that. Many times it requires incentives, it requires sometimes mandates, at least when it comes to the government side.
The reason a lot of governments are not able to, let's say, adopt open source is procurement laws just generally don't allow it. There is no framework for procuring open source tech.
I think it's been great to see all of the different thoughts and insights today, and we just had a panel on funding models for tech for impact.
So the first asset that we would like to release is the DPG State of the Community report. aka DPG Score. So the DPG Score seeks to provide a holistic overview of the current state of community building efforts across DPGs, offering insights into both organizations and developer perspectives.
Very nice that DPG Dialogues brings people nationally into one platform. In fact, the kind of people I get to meet here are people I would like to go and meet, and they are coming here.
I felt it was nutrition from my grey cells. I was very happy meeting the people. All very relevant conversations from my perspective.
DPG and DPI are at relatively early stages of their journey, but it's amazing to see how much they have accomplished and how much work that's happening across various sectors.
We need to create a lot of developers whose goal is to create things that are very important for our sovereignty.
Today's DPG Dialogues experience was really amazing. Met a lot of new organizations. The community booth showcase was really good. And even the contributors this year have been really working on some very noble and very cool projects.
It cannot be done by only students, it cannot be done by only researchers, it cannot be done by only funders, but when all of them come together is when actually these things happen. And so really excited about the potential of this kind of a community going ahead.